Hello, hello and welcome back, or welcome. I am Book Lover Lorna, and from the title of this video, I'm sure you're aware we're going to be doing my, what month are we in? My July wrap-up. Or, I almost just said TBR then, but as it's the end of the month, it wouldn't really, you know, I wouldn't really need to be doing that, would I? So we're doing my wrap-up for July, so all of the books that I've read in July. Now, I thought I would be able to read 8 books again this month, you know, with the whole lockdown shenanigans, but I've been back to work, so I have not. I might have fallen off a bit of a cliff with my reading, but never mind, that's a different conversation for a different time. So I aimed to read 8 books this month, and I've read 4. Now, last month I aimed? Is aimed right? Last month I aimed, yes, I think so. Last month I aimed to read 8 books and I read 6, but I enjoyed every single book that I read. So, you know, that was still a good reading month. Now, 4 books I've read this month. Yeah, I thought I'd done 5 actually. It's not 5, it's 4. 4 is a normal reading month for me out of lockdown. In normal life circumstances, 4 would be my goal for the month, although some months I have to read more to get to my yearly target. Okay, so one book that I read this month, which was actually a buddy read with Sophie B Books. I'll put the link to her YouTube channel in the description down below. She's my book friend, my book buddy. So we did a buddy read of Queenie. We both really wanted to read it, and I really enjoyed actually. I think it was, we did 25%, 50%, 75% and then 100. Just had like a little chat. We both got to the same point, had a chat and then kept going until we got to the next kind of agreeable marker. And it was really nice to chat with someone as I went through this because it was a very good book. I was just reading it like, what? So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I would definitely recommend this to people. It is a very good book. I think I either gave it 4 or 5 stars. Oh, it's shortlisted for the Costa First Novel Award. Yeah, it's very good book. So, first recommendation of the day. There you go. So this book is kind of like a dark, comedic take on kind of like race, relationships, like dating. Yeah, it says, there you go, that's probably where I've got that from. A darkly comic and bitingly subversive, I don't know what subversive means, take on life, love, race and family. There you go. Queenie will have you nodding in recognition, crying in solidarity and rooting for this unforgettable character every step of the way. That is completely true. I was rooting for Queenie the whole way through. So yeah, that's one to read. Now, another book that I finished this month was The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. Now, I saw a lot of good things about this online. Everyone was reading it. I think at the beginning of the year, maybe like March, April, like beginning of lockdown. Everyone was going crazy for it. I don't think it was for me. I struggled. I had to kind of force myself. Once I got about halfway through, it got a lot easier because I kind of did want to know what was going on. But there's so many characters. I had no idea who anyone was. Like, literally no idea. I was like, never heard of you before, hun. Sorry. This one says, in a remote hunting lodge deep in the Scottish wilderness, old friends gather for New Year. Right, so here's all the characters, right? The beautiful one, the golden couple, so that's going to be 2. The volatile one, the new parents, that's 2. The quiet one, the sissy boy, the outsider, so that's, God, that was 14, and then the victim. Not an accident, a murder among friends. 14 people, and that's just in this friendship group that go on this holiday to like the Scottish wilderness. There's other people, a few, very few characters dotted around this as well. 14 characters for me to try and keep track of, when firstly, like, it's scary. I'm so not a thriller person. You know, I've said this a million times. I'm trying to be a thriller person. I was it's a good thing it's lighter in the evenings, to be fair, because I've been sat on my sofa this month like this, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, I'm home alone. This is scary. So I've had to put it down. I did have a few nights where I actually had to put the book down because I was too creeped out, and I live on my own. So my friend has now moved out. She came and lived with me for a while, and now I'm on my own again, which is fabulous. You know, love living on my own, but I get scared. So this was too scary for me in places. I just have to put it down when it got too late in the evenings. If it was like winter right now and it was getting dark at 4 o'clock, I would never have been able to read it because I didn't want to read it in the dark. You know, what can you do, really? So yeah, this is a brilliant cover, actually. I like I don't know if you can see, this is all like flames. Like the idea for the book, just was not for me. Sorry, sorry all of the lovers of this book. Yeah, that was, no. Now, the next book that I read this month, which I only finished this week, so you can tell how kind of I have dropped off the face of the earth with my reading, is Mockingjay. Now, you can probably see all the fingerprints that's all over this book. Give it a bit of a wipe on my dress. Mockingjay. My editions are beautiful, but they just collect all of the greasy fingerprints. You can't eat while you're reading these, which is kind of annoying because eating is one of my favourite hobbies alongside reading. So to not be able to join those two hobbies together, I mean, it's sad times. So yeah, this was a reread of Mockingjay. I was rereading The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay before I could read A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's like I put that there, that's just where it lives. I didn't plant that there. Before I could read that one, which was actually on my TBR this month, but, you know, I'll just move that to a different month because I didn't read it. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. But yes, I wanted to reread these and rewatch the films. I watched the Hunger Games film last night, and it wasn't as good as I remembered it to be. I think because, I think I've said before, I didn't really enjoy the books when I first read them years and years ago. Rereading them now, I enjoyed the books, yes, although, yeah, didn't really, no. I remember when I watched the films though, I did quite enjoy them, but the Hunger Games, I think since I've seen the Hunger Games films, I got into the Divergent series, and I really like the Divergent series, and I just like the story a bit more, and the acting. I just, you know, when Katniss is calling Peter, like, Peter, in like this, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at American accent, but she's like, she doesn't sound that American throughout the whole film. And then when she's like, Peter, I'm like, hun, like, why are you suddenly in like the deepest, like, American accent ever? I don't get it. So I think that kind of frustrates me when I watch the film, when she's like, Peter! I'm not doing it very good at all. Peter! Don't know why I have to do this. Peter! Oh, I don't know, I've said it too many times now. But anyway, it just gets on my nerves. I don't like it. So I didn't rate the first one that much, but I'll watch the next two in the next couple of weeks. So Catching Fire. Oh no, actually, sorry, it's 4 films, isn't it? So it'll be Catching Fire and then Mockingjay Part 1 and Mockingjay Part 2. I think, thankfully, I have access to them on Amazon, so Amazon Prime. So, you know, hopefully it gets better. And then I'll read those, and then I'll read this one. No, sorry, I'll watch those films. I'll watch those films, and then I'll read this one. So, you know, that kind of does me a favour, because I'm like, oh, I can't read this until I've rewatched the films. And in actual fact, I wouldn't get around to reading it anyway, because I've got other things to do. You know? Brain logic. Take the stress off myself. And then the 4th and final book that I've read this month is Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, which I wouldn't have purchased this if it hadn't been, I can be in all honesty, I wouldn't have purchased this if it wasn't for everything with the Black Lives Matter that's gone on recently, and people being like, these are the books that you should read. Queenie was one of them, and then this one just here. Now, I found this really, really interesting. There was a lot that I learnt in there, and a lot of things that I think I didn't really pay attention to the news at all, which some people probably say is bad, some people probably say is good. I just think that it can be quite a negative anything the news, like watching it on the telly. I'll see things on social media, you know, that pop up on Facebook, like news articles and stuff like that, but I don't go and seek the news. I used to, but only like medical news and stuff like that, just because that's kind of what I'm interested in. But not like all the sad news, because I know it happens, but it's probably something that I should, you know, just read about and stuff like that. Like I said, I read it when I see it online, but I don't like put the news on the television on, because it just is like an awful way to end your day. But yeah, I just wouldn't necessarily seek out the news on my television. I would, you know, read articles and stuff I see online that people send me and be like, oh my god, look at this. So there's a lot of things that's in this book, like things that you probably would have seen, you know, on televisions or heard about in newspapers over like years gone by, which I wouldn't know about. So that was quite interesting. I learned a lot about some things that happened which I wasn't aware of. And I think like in this book, she talks about the fact that a lot of people are like, you can't write this, you know, it stifles like conversations and stuff like that. Actually, it's nothing like that, this book. It's not like opinion based at all. It is facts. It's purely facts. What a lot of black people have to go to, the privilege that white people have, and you know, there are people who would plenty say we don't have privilege. We do have, you know, bucket loads of privilege. And I think it's just something that we have to appreciate a lot, is that there are a lot of people who don't have the same opportunities as us and the same lives that we do, just because of the colour of their skin, essentially. And that's what it boils down to. So this book was brilliant, very, very factual, which I liked. I'm not usually into the factual kind of books, but I just found this really very interesting. I was reading it and I was like, oh my gosh, really? Like, wow. So yeah, I really liked that. But this book here is it's only 240 pages, I think. Yeah, 240 pages worth of writing. It didn't take me very long. I think I read this in 2 days, 3 days, maybe 2 days, one evening. So I would definitely recommend this to people. Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo-Lodge. And you can see here, it is a very skinny book. So go and pick that one up in your local bookstore. And there we have it. Those are the 4 books that I read in July. It's a shame that I didn't read more, but, you know, 4 is better than nothing. So still, you know, got some hefty books done. 2 out of 4 of those are quite big books. 1 skinny one and then 1 medium-sized one. So, you know. So yeah, 4 books this month is not too bad at all, considering that I've gone back to work. Let me know in the comment section down below what you've been reading this month. If you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are on them, or if you're going to go and, you know, pick any of these up now that I've spoken about them. Anyone I would not recommend massively is The Hunting Party, but if you're more into thrillers, you might enjoy it more than I did. So, you know, I can't help that. I'm just obviously just not built for thrillers. Hey ho, never mind. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and happy reading. Bye!